Hey folks, this is Cindy. Thanks so much for stopping by. I am back today with another video, but I am going to do something a little bit different today. I am going to be sharing you some release previews. This is for Catherine Pooler Designs. There's going to be an upcoming release in February. In the meantime, we're going to be sharing some of these at Creativation over the weekend. Creativation is the crafting industry trade show that happens annually. It's a blast, and I know a lot of you folks cannot be there, so Catherine has graciously allowed some of us designers to share some sneak peeks with you. So let's get started on that. So this release that's coming up in February is actually a really good sized release. There's lots and lots of goods coming your way, folks, including some more inks. And now I cannot give you all of the details on it, but I can definitely give you an idea of what you're going to be seeing. So this is one of the cards that I made, and I'm going to be displaying this at Creativation this weekend. And what I did with this card was I did some ink blending on the background with a stencil that's coming up in the release. I also die cut that smile sentiment there, and I did some ink blending, more of an ombre ink color. I did blend that out with the Catherine Pooler Black Jack ink that is available in her shop. And then I stamped and die cut some of the flowers that are going to be in one of the stamp sets coming up in the release. Also, this will give you a good idea of some of the new ink colors that are coming out. And then the sentiment that I stamped is also from another stamp set in the release. This release is just a blast, folks. Here is another one. I used the postage stamp dies from the Love is in the Air Stamp of Approval collection to create a couple of mats. And then I did some ink blending. Again, I did this with some of the new inks. This is the same flowers from the previous stamp set. I did do a drop shadow on these with my Copics just to kind of shake it up a little bit. And then I die cut out that sentiment with Neenah Solar White cardstock, and then I stacked that up about 4 times and then heat embossed that top layer with Wow Wanderlust embossing powder. You can also find that in Catherine Pooler's shop. That was for the Naturally Inspired Stamp of Approval collection a couple of months ago, and it is gorgeous. It has the most beautiful sparkle on it. And I'll actually link to a video that I did for the Winterhaven Stamp of Approval collection where I used that embossing powder. This is pretty much the same layout, just different colors on this card. This one, I die cut the sentiment out, and then I did some ink blending with blackjack ink. I think if I were to do it again, I would use that Wanderlust again. Now this is one of my favorites. It was really simple, but I love me some ink blending, and that's what I did. I used some of the new inks and I masked off a couple rows and did some ink blending on that. Die cut the sentiment again, blackjack ink. I like this ink. It's a nice soft black when it dries back, almost a dark gray. It's just a beautiful. I did also add some sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. And because I totally feel we should rainbow all of the things, I absolutely had to do a card that had a rainbow on it. These are all new inks that are coming up in the release. And for this one, I heat embossed a panel with Wow White embossing powder. And then I did the ink blending over that, trimmed it down just so you could kind of get a little bit of a peek. It kept this card really clean and simple. I would love to also see this in the some of the older inks from Catherine Pooler, especially the Party collection. Those are nice and bright and bold. I think they would just be gorgeous. And I will link down below to another card that I made doing a rainbow with those inks so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now, this stamp is from one of the stamp sets that's coming out in the new release, and it is a layering stamp set, and it is just gorgeous. And I did up a bunch of these panels. I actually only got this one card finished. Again, this is an idea of what the inks are going to look like, but I did use some of the older inks with these to kind of layer them up and see how they look together. And I just think that they are so much fun. For the last layer on these, I decided to emboss them instead of using an ink color on them, and I will have the links for the embossing powders in the description below. This one I thought was really fun. It had the silver embossing powder on top of that yellow. At some point I am going to finish these cards. Maybe I can get that done this weekend, but Creativation is a busy place, so maybe not. All right, so this one has some gold embossing powder with those green inks. And I just love these. These are so much fun. I would also like to see these done in no line coloring. Now that would be awesome. I definitely will plan on doing a video when I can, showcasing some no line coloring with those butterflies there. So that is what I am going to be sharing at Creativation this weekend and what is going to be coming your way in February. Now, a couple other things I want to show you here. Catherine Pooler has some new stamp blocks coming out, or she has them out. They're available in her shop. I'm sorry. And I love them. This round one, I need 1 billion of these. These are amazing. I am a huge fan of the Lawn Fawn stamp blocks. I use those a ton, and I will definitely continue to use them. But man, the way these Catherine Pooler blocks feel in my hand, it's amazing. I did use both of these blocks. This is the long rectangle block, and I used both of these while I was making these cards to really get a feel for them, and they're awesome. They're nice. They're bulky enough that you can definitely hold them in your hand. They feel good, but they don't take up so much bulk that you can't function with them, and that is so important to me. That's part of the reason why I enjoy the Lawn Fawn blocks so much, and these are definitely worth checking out. Also, while you are waiting for this release, folks, you should definitely head over to Catherine Pooler's shop and get stocked up. She's got lovely, lovely white cardstock over there. Also, if you had received the Love is in the Air Stamp of Approval collection, there is the re-inker available for that ink pad, and you will want it. It's awesome. I have details and links over on my blog as well as in the description below. I will be sure to share as much as I possibly can over on Instagram from Creativation this weekend. I truly hope you enjoyed my cards today. If you did, hit that like button and share it with your friends. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and tap that bell next to the subscribe button so you can receive all future notifications. Thanks again so much for stopping by. Until next time.